Hey everybody, this is Kweku from Next Gen Windows, bringing you a different kind of video. This video is about a concern I have with the Windows Store in general, and the concern I have is app discovery. I find it very hard to find, new and upcoming applications, not new releases, not necessarily new releases, but just like new and noteworthy or just new applications that they're not from big developers or anything like that. I find it hard to find them because when you click on any of these little green tabs here, then it brings you to a grid of, usually 100 applications, and it's just a giant mess grid of 100 applications that you got to look up and down the list to find. And it's just it's not very good. It's too unorganized. It may be just my taste, but it's too unorganized because if you look at, you say, the iPad App Store or the Play Store on Android tablets, you can see it's a lot more organized on finding newer applications. But when you go to the Windows Store here, right here, you'll notice that it's hard to find anything like that. Like this big thing right here, Scribble Mix. It's under Spotlight. So it's obviously one that Microsoft is like trying to feature. But I wish they would separate this. I know they're trying to accommodate bigger screens, like this 23-inch screen I have here. But I wish they would separate this big thing and make it like put it aside in its own area, something like that, so that your eye is just focused on it. You don't look at all the things around it, because the layout is just it's bigger, but it's not necessarily better that way. They could even make it smaller, just put it in its own area, and it'd be a lot better. I don't know exactly where. Maybe somewhere up above. Maybe like squish down everything that you see here, push it down a little bit, a tiny bit, like maybe down here, and then just put a list of like maybe the top 3 applications up here, or who knows. But I wish they would do something different, something to make it easier to discover new applications. I wish they did something, say like Apple. I'll bring it up multiple times, but I wish they did something like Apple or Android, where you can see you can see things that other people are using. I wish, say, Microsoft would do something more social, where they would be like, you could tie the Windows Store into your, say, your Facebook or Twitter, and if you have friends that are using Windows 8, you could see what apps they're using, like what kind of apps they're using, what type of apps they download, so that you can see maybe that'll be a good fit for you. Because at the moment, when you click on top paid, it's just a grid of 100 icons. Normally 100, this says 99, but it's just a grid of mess of icons where it's hard to find exactly what you're looking for. Now when you go back, you want to see top free. There it is, 100 icons right here, and it's just a mess of stuff. You got to look through each row and everything like that, and it's harder to find exactly what it is, what you're looking for. So it's just something a little difficult that I've been finding. So like, for instance, if we go here to top paid again, they have 100 here, but I wish they wouldn't do a top 100, maybe more like a top 20 or something, and number each one from the number one selling application to the 20th selling application. The 20th, number 20 top selling application, and then do something like that. That way people can see, in a smaller thing, in a bigger fashion, the top 20, not necessarily top 100. And another thing I wish they would do is that if they did a top 20, instead of them making it these small little rectangle tiles, I wish they would make it take up maybe like 6, imagine all 6 of these things used up as one tile, or maybe 4 of these, and they listed it. They could still list it in this format, in a grid format, but they should number it. There'd be something a little better to actually see what you're looking for. That way you're not just looking at a giant grid of icons here that makes it really difficult. I understand they're trying to push Metro as much as possible, or modern UI as much as possible, but modern UI does not necessarily have to be a giant grid of stuff. It can be anything that looks clean and sharp and everything like that. It can pretty much look like anything. So it doesn't have to necessarily be just squares and rectangles. It doesn't have to be just grids and grids and grids of stuff like what they've been pushing lately. It can be something else. Like if you've seen the YouTube application on Windows Phone that used to be there from Microsoft, that is still using Metro, but it looks way different from the usual Metro, where the usual Metro is, you have, let me go back to give you an example. You have a whole bunch of these giant titles on top of each row or each section, and then you can scroll across or tap on each tile, each section to go to that section. Uh, it doesn't have to be like that. You would see that in the YouTube app that used to be there. You can just Google it because it's not in the store anymore. But you can see how it looks like, and it's not like that. It still looks Metro, but it's not overly, over the top rectangles and everything like that. It's not just a bunch of rectangles. So I wish they would fix something like that, make it look a lot nicer. Because app discovery is becoming really difficult in this, and I've noticed that because I've only reviewed about maybe 60 apps, maybe even less, maybe like 50, 55 or so applications on the Windows Store, and already I'm coming to the point where uh, it's hard to discover. I wanted to, instead of me doing app reviews on, you know, these giant developers that already have a fan base and they already know what they're looking for from that developer, I really want to take a look at smaller developers and see what the next big hit application will be. For instance, we saw Tweetro Plus and MetroTube and what is it called, YouTube RT. Those apps, I had never heard of the developer. They hadn't made an application really before. They're not a giant company, uh, but yet they managed to make a really good application. And since I stumbled on them early, before all of the surge of 89,000 applications came to this store, I stumbled upon them early, so I was able to get the application before anything else. Because now, if you would go to, where is it? I think it's either social or video. Yeah, music and video. Now, if you go to video, you can't even see YouTube RT in this list. You're seeing MetroTube here, and then you have to scroll through, scroll through. Of course, you can search, but if you're just trying to discover something, you can't. It's harder to find. There are 4,000 applications here. There's no way you're gonna find MetroTube, not MetroTube. Sorry, you're not gonna find YouTube RT in this list until you keep looking through 4,000 things and hope you find it sooner or later. It's just too much to see. Uh, so I wish they would do something, better, something to make the Windows Store more friendly with more eye friendly, more user friendly. Because right now it's just too much of a grid. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Whether you think Microsoft should revamp the Windows Store and make it look a lot nicer. Basically, give you top 20 or so lists instead of top 100, because 100 means you get this, instead of top 20, where you probably get bigger icons, numbered lists, and you could see things a lot easier. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This has been Kweku from Next Gen Windows, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.